Is the water and sanitation revolution a solution to South Africa's current water challenge? Why is the Department of Water and Sanitation venturing into desalination plans? What is delaying the completion of phase 2 of the Lesotho Highlands Water Project? And can the department confidently say bucket toilets are a thing of the past? What time is it? It's question time. Hello and welcome to the show. My name is Mpho Tsedu. Despite some heavy rainfall over the past few days, the South African Weather Services say drought recovery is going to take a long time. Water reservoirs around Johannesburg are running dry, and Midrand, Ormonde and some parts of Soweto continue to experience water shortages. Cape Town, Tshwane, Ekurhuleni, other metros and rural areas are also going through a rough patch. Apart from implementing the Water and Sanitation Revolution, the country has partnered with Iran to develop desalination plants along coastal communities. Meanwhile, questions continue to be raised around the pace or the slow pace in the completion of phase 2 of the Lesotho Highlands Project. The project is aimed at building a massive dam and tunnels to ensure a continuous supply of water from Lesotho to Gauteng. But have South Africans embraced the slogan, every drop counts? We are live, and therefore you can call us and air your views. The numbers to dial 089-110-4210, our Twitter handle at QuestionTime24. My guest today, Nomvula Mkonyane. She's the Minister of the Department of Water and Sanitation, and she's joining us from our Sea Point studio. Minister, welcome to Question Time. We appreciate you making time for us. Perhaps for a start, it has rained a couple of days, you know, even yesterday. Are we safe?
Good afternoon, Mpho. Yes, we have had a bit of rain. It's not necessarily the good rains that we have had. They have brought a bit of relief, but understanding also the realities of climate change, we faced with the La Nina period, and hence we have high levels of flooding and so forth. There are areas where our dam levels are highly low, and there are other areas where there's been a misuse of this scarce resource, and there are other areas where interventions have to be made, and hence those provinces have already been declared as drought-stricken provinces. We are not safe. We are not at the safe situation west, because the reality is South Africa is one of the driest countries, but with the realities of high temperatures and the heat wave, that has also exacerbated the situation.
But what exactly is the problem? You know, I mean, we like I said when I opened here, Midrand, Soweto, you know, some parts of the south as well. They're saying, well, somehow there's no water, but you know, other parts have. You know, what is the story? Are we on water shedding or what?
The situation in Gauteng is what it is precisely because many, if not all of our municipalities in the province have not been in a position to respond and plan properly with the fact that we have the Val Dam, whose design has also contributed to the loss of water through the water evaporation because of the heat wave. But also you have more than 40% of the water that is supposed to be used for domestic use in and around some of our urban areas in Johannesburg not being used for that. Secondly, we have, it's more than 40% of the water in Johannesburg. And secondly, you also have infrastructure that we have expected municipalities to invest and deal with it, so that then we save the more than 7 billion rands worth of water that we lose through illegal connections, through missing infrastructure that gets stolen, vandalism, and so on, through many other reasons, failure to respond timelessly by municipalities, because as government, we have different responsibilities. And one of the key challenges is how we make sure that the entire value system actually works different. But of importance, where we are now, Mpo, is to say to your viewers and listeners, it is time for people in Gauteng to save water and use water sparingly. We have since taken a decision through Water that we will provide every municipality in Gauteng with less 15% of the allocation that is due. They must then decide on the distribution, the allocation across a municipality. They must work with the ward councillors. They must work with various stakeholders. They must inform people on how they ration water. But again, what has happened over the past 2 weeks is a reflection of a need for every municipality to plan properly and make sure that those that are at the high level where water will not reach on time are also assisted. But you can't also just give a total shutdown without taking people on board. Gauteng has to establish a disaster management center and a joint operations center so that everybody who needs information has to know what needs to be done. Cabinet yesterday has taken a decision to support the interventions of saving water. If we can just save, in Gauteng, we use more than 300% of the normal allocation that an ordinary human being is supposed to use per day. And if we can desist from just the behavior, we can be comfortable and have sufficient water. Okay. The issue that you have raised yourself, Mpo, about Lesotho, I think it's a story that must end. Lesotho Phase 2 was never meant to be operational by 2016. Nobody has actually said Lesotho Phase 2 will not be realized by 2025. In fact, it might even come earlier. Yes, there were issues. And yes, those issues have been attended to, because we have to also stick to our principles and our policies and national interests. Gauteng has sufficient water that we can all be able to use if we all act in a responsible manner. Let's take Muzi. You are in KZN. Welcome.
Hi, how are you?
I'm well. Thanks for the call.
I'm okay. And afternoon to the minister.
Afternoon, Daddy.
Yes, my question is, I hear Minister talking about disaster management centers, which we have noticed that in many areas, they failed our country and our communities in ensuring that they actually design system mechanism to ensure that water is being stored in a form of catchment. We haven't seen much being actually done by disaster management centers, also municipalities. I think one strategy which maybe the department should maybe focus on is to go back to these disaster management centers and municipalities and ask this question on when are they going to start to reconstruct or rebuild the system mechanism in ensuring that our systems, drainage systems, also catchment, direct water to storages, whereby we can have much or massive water systems which are being stored. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Muzi. Minister, quickly before we go to an ad break.
Yes, I really welcome this. The very little rain that we receive, we must make sure that the water doesn't get washed away back into the oceans. We must make sure that we work on that. And as part of the Back to Basics program and the support for women in the water sector, we have identified the cleaning of canals as part of dealing with this, the promotion of catchment management systems as amongst other things that are now being attended to. And some provinces have already started to do that. And we'll welcome municipalities that come with those proposals so that in line with the Back to Basics, municipalities do what is the core business of local government in the water sector, providing systems to secure water at a community level and respond on time when there are water challenges, and make sure that you inform and mobilize everybody timelessly when there are water challenges. That's the role of disaster management.
Let's take a quick break. When we return to continue our discussion with Minister Nomvula Mkonyane joining us from our Seapoint studios. And we'll be taking your calls, 089-11042 010. This is question time.
Four by land, 4x4 by sea, 4x4 by air, cause the lot to fly free. The former country, how it all started out, for the brave and every Boy Scout. 4x4, doing it yourself cause you want it done right. 4x4.
Upgrade from the Jeep Renegade 1.4 Limited Auto to the all-wheel drive for free. For more offers on the Jeep range, visit jeep.co.za or your Jeep dealer today.
4x forever.
Welcome back. You're still watching Question Time. Our guest today is Minister of the Department of Water and Sanitation, Menumvula Mkonyan. She's joining us from our Sea Point studios. That is, Mark, you're calling us from Gauteng. Welcome to the show.
Good afternoon. How are you?
I'm well. Thanks for the call, Mark.
Well, I'm well, thank you. Good evening to the Minister as well. Well, we're talking about, catchment areas of water and things like that. I just got a small suggestion to make. Maybe it will help, maybe it will not help. But the little JoJo cans that we tend to have all over the places, will help a lot if we start, implementing them in, household areas where we get, a lot of rain and catchment through your, your gutters and things like that, which could be used, for your toilet purposes without, wasting fresh water, flushing your pan every day.
Oh, okay.
Good idea. One of the things we already are doing is to commit our municipalities together with Minister Lindiwe Sisulu from Human Settlement that the designs of our giveaway houses, commonly known as RDP houses, must make sure that they have gutters. Gutters must not be seen as a
something
make
that
the
you
house
put,
look nice.
yes, something that you put Gadi bonus that December.
Yes,
Yeah.
So it must be one of the features of a house, and you then put that JoJo tank. It will really go a long way. The second thing we're looking at is to reclaim the drinkable water from the sanitation system, so that then we reduce the volumes of water we use for flushing, but we also begin to produce other alternative sanitation solutions that are less waterborne. Others are not even dependable on water. And I think these kind of ideas, even with us who already have our own private homes, we need to install these kind of things. I've got a huge brown tank in my yard. It actually goes a long way in saving water. When we shower, we put a bucket there. As you shower, the water doesn't go through the drain. You take that water and then it gets used for other purposes in the house. It is those kind of things that we should deal with, but municipalities must have capable men and women who must then look after the infrastructure, who when there's a burst pipe, they respond on time. And me and you must also call plumbers in our homes to check what is leaking and what is not working properly. The loss of 40% of drinkable water in Johannesburg for other uses is actually not correct, because that 40% can go a long way to distribute to other people. We need municipalities with capacity to enforce bylaws and make sure that those who contravene the bylaws are actually attended to. We need to partner with the private sector. I don't want to mention names, but we've got good men and women now in the private sector who are now no longer using their bottles and stuff, using water to rinse, but they are using steam and they are bringing back the water into the system. And those are the things that we commend some of our partners through the Strategic Water Partnership Network. Let us all save water.
Gift, you are in East London.
Yes.
Welcome.
Mbo, how are you?
I'm well. Thanks for the call, Gift.
Yeah, just a comment, Mbo. You know what?
Yes.
You see, the minister that you have there is one of the ministers that she is so good in words, but in terms of action, nothing. I'm telling you, the department that she leads, she is collapsing. I'm just warning her that the department that she is leading, she is collapsing. She must take action.
How
because
so?
she's so good in words. Okay, bye.
Gift? Gift, are you still there? Wow, I would have loved Gift to tell us how is the minister collapsing the department. You know, she says there's no action, and I'm told you are Mama Action. So, yeah, there's some disparity there. But let's talk about quickly this desalination system. What is happening? What does it exactly involve?
Desalination is about the use of new technologies to clean water that comes from the ocean and purify it to an extent that it can be used for both domestic as well as industrial use. We have different solutions. Some of the solutions have been quite expensive, but we now have some of the interventions that we have made together with the partners both in South Africa as well as international. We're busy now in Richards Bay with some of the solutions. Some of the portable plants have already arrived from Iran, and we also have 3 South African solutions that are also in the coast here in Cape Town. We're looking at other options around Port Elizabeth. So KwaZulu-Natal in Richards Bay, we might have actually shut down the entire town, the entire industry. But together with the private sector, we worked. And just last week, the MEC for Economic Development in KwaZulu-Natal had to go and deal with this. It is the way to go. And if you have to look at it, Mpo, what it does, it reduces the dependency on drinkable water, but it also makes us to create incentives for industry to take up this kind of water and use it for industrial use, and then we redistribute drinkable domestic water to other communities that are in need. So desalination is the way to go. Okay. The use of groundwater is quite important. Over time, South Africa has actually distributed more than 90% of our surface water. It's an anomaly. We must have a mix of our own water sources, including the use of grey water, recycling the water that you have used, making sure that you harvest water from the rain, making sure that we also harvest the acid mine water that comes from the mines that were neglected during the gold rush. Okay. So it is those kind of actions, not just what we say, okay, the kind of actions we're dealing with. We're helping municipalities. In Nelson Mandela, the Nooit Gedacht water scheme, we've invested money there. We've got a major project that is now coming through in the Northern Cape called Valgamagara, more than 480 kilometers of a water pipeline. We're busy now finally putting in place the project called Umzimvubu in the Eastern Cape to help the communities there. We're dealing with sanitation using alternative technology because it is not all about flushing. You need dignified sanitation. Okay. So we're dealing with, we are now becoming smart in how we get water. We're also told that there are other ways of getting water through the cloud system where you shoot at the cloud and then when it crashes, you are able to collect the water. The Water Research Commission is working with a few of our young people who are exploring that technology as well. Hold it there, Minister. We need to go for an ad break. And Dougie, you are on the line. We'll take your call soon after this ad break. 089-110-4210. We shall return shortly.
lurks greatness, bravery, guts, determination. Every time you get down, you get back up. You take us all forward. You raise the bar. And we salute you, party comrade, with a Heineken Cool Can and Strongbow Apple Cider 6-pack combo for just 100 Rand from Tops at Spa.
Welcome back. You're still watching Question Time. My guest, Nomvula Mkonyane, is the Minister of the Department of Water and Sanitation. She's in our Sea Point studios in Cape Town. Dagi, you are on the line. Welcome.
Welcome, welcome. Thank you.
Yes.
My friend, I need to say something.
Yes.
You know what we need? We need the Minister of Water Affairs, who's on the screen right now, and the President of the country to acknowledge there's somebody bigger than them. And if they declare a day of prayer for water, it will happen for us.
Okay,
all the schemes and all the plans and all the whatever she's saying is well and good, but nothing is better than to acknowledge God, because we really need Him.
Okay, Dagi, thank you very much for the call. Minister, well, quite a challenge there.
Well, I'm in it, Dagi. Mpo, you know, as we have all said, we need different solutions and different role players. And of course, I believe strongly in prayer, but we must also give science the space where we think there can be solutions. Just this coming Sunday, I'm a Catholic by faith. We've been invited with the mayor of Ekurhuleni to a huge prayer service that is going to take place in Ekurhuleni. We've been invited to say, let's come together and talk to the men up there and seek divine intervention. We've been called, we'll be moving to Limpopo, and they've been doing some work in terms of tradition and spirituality. And anyone, that's why I keep saying, anyone who wants to do anything and provide a solution, come forward, let's actually work together. But the easiest thing to do is to form partnership and accept, as Dagi has said, this is no one person's responsibility. It requires all of us. I'm looking forward to going to Pastor Mutlou, is it Mutlou or Mutshwane? Mboro, commonly known as Mboro, in Katlehong this Sunday. I'm looking forward to visiting the Mapungubwe in the end of the month in Limpopo. I'm looking forward to going into the mountains of Ukahlamba in KwaZulu-Natal, where everybody just says, come and be with us. But I'm also keen to work with you, Mpo, in your own home to save the water that you are using and wasting in your home, and to talk about other solutions on how best we can save water. It can only be through partnerships. And thanks, Dagi, for reminding us.
Minister, thank you very much. Well, my house is not that big, so we use quite, the list of water reserves there. But that was question time for today. Unfortunately, we've run out of time, but thank you very much to the Minister and to you for watching the show. From me and the crew, have yourself a wonderful time. Ivan Khotso.